Alright, hey, it's Eric again. You know, well everybody, this is one of the things I was talking about. When you start tearing into a truck, you have to be prepared for repairs you aren't prepared for or just don't know about. When I pulled this tires off, I found this tire was so loose, it was acted like the nut was loose, and so when I tried to take the nut off, it was so tight I had to get a different thing out with a better leverage to get the nut off, to get the tire off. Popped the tire off with the technique I told you about, unscrewed this thing, and had to use the flat tip screwdriver to gradually pry it off of the top of the hub here, off that axle, little axle at the end there, the drive shaft at the end there. It was very loose. I discovered the bearing that was in it was shot. The bearing was just wobbly as hell, and this, I went through my bag of parts, found there was a transmission that I rebuilt in my Traxxas, and it was just a bad transmission to begin with, so it needed to be replaced. So I replaced the transmission with a new one, which was awesome, and I tore the old one apart and pulled all the bearings back out. So they're pretty new. They were hardly used at all in the transmission, but some of them were obviously not good. But this one is it's a little wiggly. They are a little wiggly. It's not going to be perfect, but it's a lot less than it was. I mean, it felt like the tire was coming off. It was so loose and wobbly. But none of the others are like that. And the bearing must have just wore out quick because it was used or older. It might have been one of the older bearings, not one of the newer ones. It did look pretty bad, and when I got out a newer bearing, it looked way better, clean, and the fit was way tighter. So anyway, I'm still trying to get my front one done. I haven't even gotten to it yet. I ran into that problem. But I figured now that I've got it off, and this is pretty much a sealed unit. This was rusted because water got in here. And there's no turn here, there's no opening. The old one was a turnbuckle, just in case you wanted rear steer. Got rid of it, put straight hubs on. You know, $5 each for the hubs. Nothing else though, just the hubs and the screws. So put that on there. It's a solid fit all the way to the bearing in the front here. But water still got in there and it gets into your axle. So what I'm going to do is I bought boat trailer and marine equipment marine grease. This stuff is real cheap at Walmart. You dab it on there real good all around this thing, get it on that bearing real good, and then when you seat this on here, that will be smoother. You get less wear on your bearing, you'll get less wear on your axle where the two meet, and it'll be quieter, and it'll be waterproof. So you can do that. If you do that though, you're going to have to go in every so often. I don't know, every once in a while, especially if you go deep water, deep mudding, you might want to pull it apart and make sure nothing has gotten through, or nothing's mixed in there with the grease and it's become a puree of grit and stuff that's just chewing up your axles or your drive shafts. So yeah, you got to do that. But with the sealed ones the way they are, that is not as much of a problem. The front ones being open, it is more of a problem. You will get a lot more debris in there. So I don't do that to the front ones. Maybe the inside here a little bit, but out here, no. Inside the bearing, yes. Outside the bearing, no. Just have to hope that or you have to go with regular lube on there. I mean, maybe a little bit just to give it a little bit. I'm telling you, once you get grit in there, you're going to wear it out. All right, well, back to the repair.